Hey, Steve Reads a Comic is back after an extended hiatus.
You said that
As
last
usual,
time.
it is Steve's fault. Fully 100% Steve's fault.
All right, one of the times
And
it was my fault.
I gotta go to dinner with my wife.
All right, two of the
So-
times it was my fault.
But
The week in between wasn't my fault.
but yeah, we're still doing the podcast. Surprise, surprise.
Hey man, my
Surprise,
kids,
surprise.
they're done with the soccer, the hip hop, the gymnastics, the flag football. It's all over. I can do this whenever you want.
That is so many extra.
Except Monday night and Thursday night because I watch football.
Oh, I'm yawning. I caught Rob's yawn. Shit.
Yeah, I have no idea what the hell we talked about last time.
Oh man, so much has happened. Like, I think a Star Wars movie was in the theater.
Is Loki over? I think Loki's over.
Loki.
Oh yeah, we can talk
done
about
with
Loki.
season 3.
Is it done?
No, there's a new episode tomorrow.
Is that the last one?
That's supposed to be the last one, yeah.
Wow, they got a lot to wrap up.
All right, so let's just get into current events. And by current events, I mean
3 weeks ago.
Current entertainment events. We have the opening of The Marvels coming up this week. It is not tracking well from what I've seen. Some of the Rotten Tomatoes has published reviews. I think it had a 58% earlier. Now, these scores don't really mean a lot to me. I've talked about that before. Overall, critic scores don't really mean anything. They typically don't mean anything with these kind of movies. I think I think it was Venom had like 17% or 28%. It made tons of money. So that doesn't really matter. But I think at this stage in the game, it might have a little bit of an impact just because Marvel is on the decline.
Disney
and I think in most people's eyes anyway. I mean, and again, I said for years, I was like, you peak and then you come down. That's just how it works. You can't be on top forever. Just nothing works that way. That's not reasonable.
I'm still enjoying the films.
I mean, there's a couple idiots out there that really still like these movies. I was
going to say, you said most people, but there's people like me.
Some idiots that are just like, I like movies. I don't even care what they do. I like the big screen. It's pretty.
I did, dude. I rewatched Moon Knight this last couple of 3 weeks.
That was not good.
Dude, it's much more enjoyable the second time or third time I watched it. Like the whole thing with Jake Lockley. Like, I was pissed because I knew Jake Lockley existed, but when he goes to, you think they're like, oh, who the hell killed that person? I don't know. Who's that? I didn't do it. Like, the audience is finding that out for the first time. So I rewatched it trying to throw all that, and it was good. It was good, dude.
No, it's still not good.
You're lying to yourself.
No,
hey,
I'm
man.
not. That's what I thought. I was like, I like Moon Knight. I'm going to go in. I'm going to,
show it. Did you
pretend
like
I don't know anything about Moon Knight? It was much better.
Did you show Rob your new tattoo? It's the hippo god. He got the hippo god tattoo.
Yeah, the hippo god is still there.
He got it right around his belly button.
She wasn't as bad, but she's still they made her annoying. Like, make her a competent god, Don't make her fucking useless.
My favorite part was the Godzilla fight at the end.
I just think, like, if they had done this, and just done one thing, it would have been good. Which is, if they'd done one thing, it could have been a good show. Which is, fire the writers, throw out the script, and start over. That would have been a good show potentially. But that was utter shit. I know you like Moon Knight, but that'd be like me saying the Batman '66 series is it's good stuff. It's good Batman. So I went and rewatched it through a new lens, and it's actually very true to some of the source material, despite the fact it's fucking stupid.
This is him. Being him.
My other favorite part were all the fight scenes off screen.
Yeah, no, there was Moon Knight in the first 3 episodes. There were fights.
An action show with decidedly no action.
Now listen to me. There were the first 3 episodes had Moon Knight. Then there was the one that didn't, where they're trying to get backstory, and then the one where you find out what happened with him as a child and how he got the DID. Like, that was a great episode, dude. Like, the acting was phenomenal.
Man, you really like Moon Knight.
There was action, dude. I'm telling you, say there's no action, but there was action with Moon Knight in the first 3 episodes. Like,
if you I have a cut of The Matrix where they took out all the fight scenes. It's awesome. You'd love it. I'm gonna send it to you,
dude. I'm telling you, if you know nothing about Moon Knight, you're trying to figure out what's going on with this guy. And it is a big reveal when Jake Lockley, he's like, oh, there's a third person. It was a huge reveal. But at the time, we were all pissed because we're like, why didn't he fight anybody again? Because we already knew there was a third person. I'm just saying,
I didn't even care about the third person. I just wanted to see some fight scenes.
There were fight scenes. I just said that in the first 3 episodes, there were fight scenes with Moon Knight. There was a lot of fight scenes. And there, like Rob said, there was a fight with the gods at the end.
So let's tie this in, though.
And Khonshu is cool as fuck. He's creepy as fuck. There was some great scenes with lights in hallways. That was very, very great, cool imagery throughout the show.
Steve has brainwashed himself. But aside from that,
I'm trying to be
let's
honest.
discuss something else that ties into that. The Echo trailer drops, right? Everybody
did you watch
shitting
the trailer?
themselves. Yeah, of course. I watched the trailer. There's nothing exciting in this trailer, but people are stupid and wowed by things. They saw blood, so they got excited. There's now hype for this show because they saw blood. All I can think is
Fisk.
I don't care. I have not invested in any of those characters. I like what's his name as Fisk, but I'm not like I've never been a Kingpin fan. I think he does a great job, but I've never been like, yeah, Kingpin. However, so they do blood, and all I could think was, wow, this would have been cool in, say,
Moon Knight
if they had super violent fights. Maybe I could have got on board with Moon Knight. Seems like a little,
but they didn't
too late.
They didn't do the R-rated Disney stuff until after that was already filmed. So I'm sure they will.
No, but they could have. They made a choice. They didn't. They made a bad choice. That was a bad choice for a violent character to just take out all the fighting, no blood. I can live without blood, but at least have some violence. Show me some violence.
There was violence in it. I don't know what you're talking about.
That was
just
some serious.
There was violence.
Would
all
you
over the
would
place.
you let your kids watch Moon Knight?
What do you mean? Would I let them watch?
Would you let them watch it?
Well, I'm a bad example because I let my kids watch Bloodsport, so that's not a good guy to go to.
No, but you won't even let your kids watch it took you a lot to get them to watch Jurassic Park.
No, it didn't. It was very quick. Dom like dinosaurs.
Dude, we've been gone 3 weeks and you're on a Moon Knight kick. Good Lord.
I just watched it again. I was trying, like Sean said, I tried to watch it through a new lens. It was not that bad.
Hey man, I'm glad you liked it.
If you don't like gods, then it's probably not for you. But I do like gods, and I like the fight, and I love Khonshu. I enjoyed it, dude. I enjoyed it more.
I like Moon Knight and by Moon Knight. That's all.
Look, man, if it would have had,
I hated that the whole time he's like that. Mark Spector's like this. I don't want to do the Moon Knight stuff. Like that was so fucking stupid and awful. Chaining himself. Like no, I want to see fucking Moon Knight, dude. You go to see Batman and he's like chaining himself up in his bedroom. I don't want to be Batman. It scares me. No, that's not fucking Moon Knight.
He was having trouble. Steven kept filtering through. It wasn't he wanted to take over. He needed Steven's approval.
That whole character was so terribly written. Steven, yeah, that was his name. Like that was so
Steven
stupid.
Grant. That's how he is in the comics. And you don't like Mr. Knight either. You don't like the white suit. I like the white suit.
I'm gonna go get my Diet Coke while y'all argue about Moon Knight.
Look, man, I know I'm a fanboy. I'm just saying I rewatched it again. It was not as bad as I remember it being. If you take into account that you don't know anything about Moon Knight. Now, moving
I do know
forward,
something about Moon Knight.
I know, we all do. But I'm saying if you're watching it for the first time and you don't know much about Moon Knight, then it's not that bad.
You'll probably not watch past the first episode because it was really bad.
No, that's not. That was not bad. That was a great first episode.
Terrible.
Especially with him acting, and then you see Moon Knight at the end, which was sweet.
This Batman statue. I know I point to this.
We still talking Moon Knight.
Batman statue. Does that mean I have to defend Batman and Robin? No, I love Batman. I don't need shitty Batman.
I didn't say it was a perfect. I said it was better than I remember it being. It was not that bad. It was not fucking Robin Boy Ward. Okay, it was much better than that.
How was your revisit of 30 Rock? Was that good?
Yes, it was phenomenal. You guys are great. It's a great show.
You have never watched it,
dude. I watched the first season. It's funny. It's funny.
All right, so yeah, the Echo trailer came out. Everybody's happy. There's blood. Meanwhile, I'm like, who gives a fuck about Echo? No one. All right. Moving on.
Wait, Rob, did you watch that Echo trailer?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
What did you think of it?
I'll watch it. I don't care.
I'm the same
I
as
watched
Rob.
the I watched the first episode. It looks better than Ant-Man.
I watched the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
I think there's
And
only 5, and
it
they're
might
releasing
be
them all in
shit.
one day. Listen, they're releasing it all at once, and there's only 5 episodes.
It must be bad.
It's fucking terrible.
It must be bad.
And it was supposed to come out this month, which means they went back and reshot stuff and like, let's add some blood, maybe.
Wow, that's not good news.
Yeah, I'll fucking watch that shit. Hell yeah.
But yeah,
it didn't look. It looked better than I thought.
I'm going to see the Marvels, bitches. I go see anything.
I am curious about the box office take, and
but I will not lie and tell you that Moon Knight was a great.
Dude, I want Marvel to take a big L on the Marvels, and that is because they took one on Ant-Man. They need more L's so we can get good content again.
Yeah, who knows?
I want good content. I bounced off a while ago because the quality went down.
Have you watched Ant-Man?
No, I have no interest. I have no reason to watch Ant-Man.
I'm just saying. I mean, you're going to talk about it, watch it. You say you don't care about critics, and watch the movie. If you don't believe critics all the time,
it's not about. I don't care about critics. I saw the trailer. They showed me. They were like, "Hey, this is how we're going to get people to watch this," and they showed it to me, and I'm like, "Doesn't work." That means that's their fault. That's on them. If they can't entice me, that's not up to me to be like, "Well, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt." No, I've been burned too many times giving the benefit of the doubt over a shitty trailer.
I really wish Jonathan Majors wasn't like a wife beater or whatever he is, because goddamn, because he did a great job in that movie.
Allegedly.
Yeah, whatever. Allegedly. You know what I'm saying? But he did a great job in Quantumania, and he's doing a great job in Loki, man.
Yeah, he's good in Loki. I liked him in
I'm like, why do you have to fuck up?
What was that HBO show with that were based on those books?
Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft. He was really good in that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that show.
I never watched it.
It was good. But Steve got me watching that one.
All right, so Loki.
You should rewatch Moon Knight.
Loki's surprisingly entertaining. Loki sucked me right in. Great character work. Surprising ending to episode, what was it, 4, I think?
Where are we at? What happened?
When Victor Timely got spaghettified?
Oh, yeah. I did not see that coming.
This whole series is unpredictable. Like, I'm like, I think they're going a certain way. Next thing I know, I'm like, damn.
Dude,
this is
that fucking what's the clock? Miss
Minutes.
Woo, man, she's fucking evil. It's a little fucking clock, and it's got so much personality. It's got more personality than half the Marvel characters now.
Yeah, we got a rogue AI. Like, it's awesome, man. And she's very sinister.
But dude, when they were crushing them in the box in her face, oh my god, I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that was
like, I ain't crossing that lady. That's why I say please and thank you to Alexa,
because you're afraid of a rogue cartoon clock.
Whoa.
Yeah, and the way she can go from like happy voice to complete, villain voice. And she said something to Victor before he died. She said something like, "You'll never be the one." I'm guessing like the one, he who remains.
Right.
So that was very creepy, very intense.
Yeah.
That is one vindictive AI, baby.
So what is the sacred timeline? Is that the timeline we know from the first,
I'm assuming,
unless season of Loki?
Unless they change it. But yeah.
And everything else.
I assume it's the one where, they beat Thanos and Tony Stark died. I assume that's the sacred timeline. But they could reverse all that because they're getting desperate, according to that Variety article, and they want to resurrect these characters, which I'm like, no, don't do that. Please don't do that.
Dude, didn't you just wipe out everything that you've done?
Yeah. So my whole thing I've been screaming is just reboot, man. Just reboot. I told Logan the other day, the best way they could end this Marvels movie is they go to, because in the new trailer, which is like super serious, by the way, they didn't want it to be comical anymore. In this new trailer, they show the threat and they're talking about the multiverses colliding. The best way they could end this is they fucking lose and they die and they start a new timeline. I would be on board with that. Just wipe it all away and start over. But they're not going to do that.
In the movie?
Yeah.
Okay,
let the heroes die. Let them have an Infinity War moment, but there is no end game that comes and rescues them.
Okay.
Like, just let it end. Let the universe be over.
I didn't know if you were talking about Loki, because that last episode comes out the day before this new movie, and I didn't know,
right?
What the hell they're gonna. I'm assuming it ties in somehow.
Why did we watch Secret Invasion? Jeez.
Yeah, that's been the most disappointing.
That might have been worse than Moon Knight.
I think Moon Knight was worse for me because I actually really liked Moon Knight until they did that. I'm not as invested in Fury. I always like Sam Jackson, but I actually, I had a little bit of history with Moon Knight in the comics, so to see him just destroy his character,
I liked the
pretty
Moon
terrible
Knight comic that we read. I thought that was really good.
That was good. It's a shame they didn't do that.
Yeah, everybody's got their own opinions, and sometimes you're wrong. Secret Invasion was way worse than Moon Knight.
It was pretty bad.
But dude, did you catch the Rad song in the last episode of Loki? When Mobius is on the jet ski and they're playing that old 80s music, it was from Rad, dude. I about shit a fucking brick. I was like, "Are you hearing this? You guys hearing this?" And the kids knew it, because I listened to it all the time. We watched the movie all the time. But yeah, that was "Thunder in Your Heart" by John Farnham. It was great, man. It was great.
Good to know. I liked the Velvet Underground tune they did at the end of the.
When she was listening to the record.
Yeah. I thought that was a nice touch.
How great was that scene, dude? Yeah. When she's listening to the record and he's like trying to get to her, run into her like Sylvie. Oh my God. That was so beautiful and horrifying at the same time. Like they did a great job.
Keith, if you're listening, Velvet Underground was in a Marvel movie. That's how you know Velvet Underground is a popular band.
Oh, speaking of people listening, one of my buddies at work says, it's like, hey, I've been listening. I really like your show. And he's like, but why do you got to be a whiny bitch all the time? I was like, well, I was like,
to you?
Yeah.
About you or about me?
About me. And I was like, well, thanks for your feedback. And I'm just trying to if it's not me, I was like, if it's not me, it's not authentic. And I'm going for authenticity here.
You sure it wasn't me?
No, he's talking about me. It was pretty funny. He's like, why are you always a whiny little bitch? I was like,
oh man,
I don't know, man. Just trying to be me.
Did he walk it back at all? Did he give you a little slug in the shoulder?
Dead
serious?
No, he I think he was being sarcastic, but I'm not positive, man.
I don't think he was.
But any feedback is fine. Just keep listening. That's fine with me.
Well, we got a new name for the show. Whiny Bitch Reads a Comic.
You should title that next week. See if your buddy says so.
Man. But the Loki. Oh my God, I'm loving Loki so much, dude.
Yeah, it's very entertaining.
I love how I love how Obi just popped in with the new TemPad that he built. He's just like, of course he did. He built it, right? And there he just
he's like, it'll take 18 months,
right?
All right, so I finally finished the Super Mario Brothers movie, the cartoon one from the creative team that brought us Minions. So you can imagine how I felt about it. This is possibly the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. I know I say that about a lot of movies, but this week, this is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. It took me about 6 attempts to get through it. And it made me feel like what an adult must have felt like in the 80s when they had to watch an episode of He-Man, where an adult is just like, this is just an advertisement for a stupid toy. That's all that movie was. There were no jokes. There was it was just awful. Like, it looked great. I could say that. It looked great. It had a good cast. Can't remember a goddamn thing about it other than it sucked ass. It was fucking horrible. It was aimed at between 2 and 3 year olds, from what I could tell. If I was 8 years old and I saw that movie, I would have walked out. That's how bad it was.
I don't remember it being that bad. I don't remember.
You remember anything about it?
No, but I don't remember it being that bad. I don't remember having to shit on it. Jesus.
My God. Dude,
I remember.
I've been with Mario since fucking Donkey Kong.
Steve's
I've been a Mario
kids,
fan.
So your kids.
That's fine. It's like I said, there's a certain demographic.
Yeah,
but they could have pulled a Pixar and, done like Toy Story where there's jokes for everybody. Everybody can get on board with it. Like The Incredibles or just all those great Pixar movies, Bug's Life, all that stuff where they had good stuff for adults too, but they just chose not to do that. They just decided we're going to make a movie that's a commercial for Nintendo and Mario. That's all it was. This is a 90-minute commercial,
but it did good, man. It
was. This was equivalent to that fucking Power Rangers movie we watched. Mm-hmm. That's what this was. This was that 90s Power Rangers movie.
I think it was a little better done.
It was more expensive, but it had a bigger budget. But same quality storytelling, writing, just bigger budget.
I remember that watching it and I was like, wow, they just wanted to show, it was just like one big nostalgia trip,
Yes.
Like they subverted story and put nostalgia trip first. They put that on the pedestal.
That's all it was. It was like, hey, remember the raccoon suit? Remember this? Remember that?
Yeah, terrible. Right.
Nintendo is going to do a live action Zelda. Did you see that?
That was what I was going to segue into with this. So I thought, I am intrigued. Awesome. I was until I read about the creative team behind it. You guys ready for this shit?
Oh, no, I didn't read this. No. Is it Kathleen
Here
Kennedy?
It comes.
All right. So, no, it's Avi Arad, his record is up and down. He did the original Spider-Man movies, but he also did the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but he also did the Marvel Spider-Man movies, but he also did Morbius. So, he's all over. He's a producer. He's like Kathleen Kennedy. He just is like, put it out. They will come because it's Star Wars or because it's Spider-Man. That's basically all he is. However, they have a director in place already. And writers too. I forget who the writers are, but the director is some dude who directed the Maze Runner trilogy. That's it. That's all he's got.
I like the Maze Runner.
I did not. The first one I liked, and then I was like, oh, this is bad.
I didn't read the book.
I, of course, being an adult man and not a pedophile, never saw it. So, because it's not aimed at people in our age bracket, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Okay.
Just coming from the guy that just shat all over the Mario movie.
Neither was Hunger Games.
I grew up with Mario.
You watch Hunger Games, that was the same fucking thing.
I watched Hunger Games because Maggie read the books.
Okay, whatever. It's Hunger Games.
And I only saw the first one.
Okay.
But yeah, it's
whatever.
It's like adult stuff, though, right?
Yeah, so is The Legend of fucking Zelda, but I'm still going to see that.
I grew up with Zelda. I have that attachment. I've been there since day one with Zelda, grew up with Zelda, played Zelda.
Okay, so you grew up with Barbie too? Okay, whatever.
I did grow up with Barbie. Barbie's actually been around a lot longer than me.
I'm just saying it's meant for little girls is what your point was originally.
What, Maze Runner?
No, Barbie, dude.
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, Maze Runner. That sounds right. Made for little girls.
No. Okay, whatever. It's a movie.
Well, here's my question about Maze Runner.
Once again, you shit on it. You never even saw it. I mean, that's
because I'm not the target demographic, and that's fine.
I'm just saying, stop shitting on stuff.
Yeah, he's saying you don't have to piss all over it. If you don't want to watch it, that's fine. But
I do. When you have a character, a franchise as well loved as Zelda, you basically have your pick of who can direct this.
You have no idea what it's going to be like.
You have no idea, but I don't have any idea what it's going to be like. But I just know that you could pick any director, and you're like, who's that guy who did 3 Maze Runner movies? And let me just tell you, as the general public in this case, which is me, I didn't know there were 3 Maze Runners movies. I've heard of Maze Runner. I thought there was one. There was an entire trilogy.
Yeah.
Were they in theaters? When was this?
And I watched them all because I had to know how it ended.
Oh my gosh!
And now I forgot everything about the story.
I'm not even worried about the director. Who's the writers?
I got
who the fuck are the writers? That's what I care about. You can fucking direct all day and just make sure the writers are.
Directors do matter, though. Director and writer attached.
Yeah, if the director's writing it.
They'll all be fired, and a new team will be brought in about 6 months anyway. So,
hopefully,
that's very good news, though. I mean, you know how much we played Zelda. Jesus.
I never played it. I watched you guys more than I ever played it.
when I said we, I meant me and Sean and I.
Man, I used to watch Laura play it all the
time.
Okay.
Here's the guy. Okay, now I know. Okay, here's the biggest point of concern.
No,
it's the writer attached wrote the last 3 Jurassic Park movies. So there we go.
It could be worse.
Did you see the last Jurassic Park?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he worked on all 3 of those apparently.
I gotta agree with Sean on this. This is not looking good.
I just don't understand.
That's a lot of negatives. That's a lot of question marks.
Yeah.
You have all these people who are adults now who grew up with that stuff who might have an interest in doing it, and you just it just seems like they picked the cheapest guy. Like we can give this guy like $8 million and he'll do it.
Oh boy.
I love to be proven wrong. I would love to see a fucking amazing Zelda movie. I will happily apologize for all my insults if you just give me a good product. So I have no problem with that.
Well, hopefully
Loki, I didn't think I'd care about Loki season 2. I've been loving it.
Hopefully he liked Zelda more than he liked Jurassic Park growing up. I don't know.
Well, it's not even about liking it so much as just make it good. Just please make it good. But also it kind of tells you too, Nintendo is going for a young adult audience if they go with the guy who did the Maze Runner movies as opposed to, I don't even know a director off the top of my head that would skews a little older, but isn't like, Tarantino necessarily, but maybe does, Matt Reeves type, maybe.
What was the best video game adaptation?
Like a movie, like a show or movie?
Yeah, movie. Let's go with the movie.
Oh, man, that's hard. You gonna spring that on me? Like,
don't say Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers 1993.
Yeah, that's
the original.
One. That's no. That one is
I saw, what was that movie we watched? Maggie and I watched a movie a few weeks ago, something about werewolves. Do you have your headphones on, Maggie?
I do, but I can hear you.
Werewolves Within. That was a pretty good one.
Oh,
I've never played the game, but
okay.
Yeah, it's based on a video game, but that was a solidly enjoyable video game adaptation.
It's not Street Fighter. Though, it's not Street Fighter.
Well, there is a good there's a Street Fighter movie called Street Fighter Assassin's Fist.
I'm talking about live action, dude.
No, this was live action. It's in my Vudu if you ever want to watch it. Oh. It's a live action movie, came out, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago.
I think I get it.
But it's not great. You have to be a Street Fighter fan to enjoy it.
Doom sucked.
Yeah, that was pretty terrible.
It did have the camera view from the gun though.
Yeah, that doesn't make for a good movie.
No, but that was cool to see.
The Halo series was fucking awful. Oh, the most recent Mortal Kombat movie was good. As an adaptation of its source material. That was rather enjoyable. Trying to look up a list here. Let's see here.
Street Fighter.
So many. Dude, you know what I actually liked, and we never talked about it, and I'm not going to say it's the best, but I think it was a really good adaptation, was that most recent Resident Evil movie. I enjoyed that.
Welcome
to Raccoon City.
That was good.
I think that's what...
Was that it was without Mila Jovovich?
Yes. It's the one. This one's based on a series of games called Resident Evil. I don't know what her movies were based on, but this one's based on a video game called Resident Evil, so I liked that. Yeah. The Mila Jovovich movies, I don't know why they used that title, but this movie was based on Resident Evil, so I enjoyed that. It was fun. It was a fun horror movie that stayed close to the source material.
Did you watch those movies? The Resident Evil movies?
I saw the first one, and I've seen bits and pieces of all the other ones. Okay. But I was just like, this isn't fucking Resident Evil. They just cherry picked elements. They were afraid to actually delve into it. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want a direct adaptation of Resident Evil 1. That story is terrible, but there's elements. The elements they need to choose. They chose well with this new movie, Raccoon City. They took the right stuff from those early games with the mansion and Raccoon City and all that stuff. And then the violence and the zombies, and they kept it simple, and they had the characters from the game. They didn't create a new character.
Yeah.
I thought they did a solid job on that. Is it a great movie? No. But as a Resident Evil fan, I was like, okay, this is probably one of the best adaptations I've seen.
Well,
you got me on the hook here.
I mean, once you said that, I was like, yeah, that is the best one. Like, I'm trying to think of all the ones. One? I mean, that I can think of.
There was another Doom movie that I have that came years later. That one is also not good.
Now, I did like The Last of Us a lot, but that's not a movie.
Oh, okay. That got a lot of love, but that's an adaptation, though.
Yeah.
So that I think a lot of people would agree with you. It's not my domain.
That was probably one of my favorites.
But yeah, now we have all the kids who grew up with these games. Because like when they made Super Mario Brothers in '93, they were going to adults who were like, "You want to make a movie out of what?" You know, they had no sentimental attachment to this shit. They were like, "Okay, whatever." Yeah. But now all the people that grew up with games and have want to do movies and stuff, they might do faithful. We might get Raccoon Cities and Mortal Kombats and stuff. So yeah, I'd say Raccoon City and Mortal Kombat. Those are.
Did you watch?
Those are probably like.
What about Lara Croft films? Any of those all right?
Those were okay.
I mean, I thought the first one was okay.
I didn't see the newest one, but I saw
it
like
was
the first.
Right.
I saw the Jolie ones. But yeah, Werewolves Within, Mortal Kombat, Raccoon City. Those are probably my favorites. Dude, you know what I watched? And I enjoyed it. Fucking Pixels. Was it great? No, Pixels. It was an Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the one with the Pac-Man
and Gad. Yeah. Josh Gad.
Yeah. Gad. I like Adam Sandler. I'm a simple guy. Let it never be said I'm an elitist because I just like to laugh. If you make me laugh, I'm on your side. It was it wasn't like one of his best. It was no that's my boy, but it was solidly entertaining and it definitely had some good jokes in it.
I'm surprised you hadn't seen that. It was old as fuck.
Yeah, I'd never seen it till like a week ago.
Hell, I've seen it on TNT a couple times.
Rob's watched it with commercials.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
I enjoyed that. I might put it on my Vudu and watch it. Like,
Kevin, whatever his name is, the president.
Don't like Kevin James. Kevin James is just not funny. Like that dude he sticks out like a sore thumb because his attempts at comedy fall really flat for me. Probably the only low point of the movie though. But not that I hate him. I don't hate him. He's outclassed by everybody else in that movie, basically. You know what I love about Adam Sandler movies is he's always like in this movie, he plays basically a member of the Geek Squad and he hooks up with a super hot chick. Every movie he gets like a super hot chick. Like he writes the movie. He's like, I get a super hot chick, right? Yeah, that's right. Like, and he does. He gets a super hot chick in every movie.
You'd be doing the same thing too.
Oh, it's so funny that like you don't even need a romance angle, but he's like, we're gonna do romance this time, right? I'm gonna get to kiss a hot Hollywood actress. All right, cool.
He's like, yeah, love scene with her,
right?
Josh Gad got Cubert.
So, yeah,
he was Cubert.
Cubert turned into a hot.
Then he had baby Cubert. So,
oh yeah, that's right.
I don't remember that movie at all, dude.
It's funny. It's entertaining.
Nothing like amazing or great, but it's Peter Dinklage is in it. What I love about Adam Sandler is he just wants to make people laugh. Like he has no pretentious agenda or anything. He just wants to make people laugh. And I appreciate that because I want to laugh. I want to be one of those people. And he's not worried about making some highfalutin, movie where, well, I mean, he was in like that Safdie Brothers movie, whatever that was called, where the trailer alone gave me a panic attack. I couldn't watch that, whatever. I don't remember where he played like the diamond guy or something. I don't know what that was.
Oh, Gems.
The Uncut Gems? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I saw the trailer. I'm like, I think my heart rate is up.
Dude, that movie was fucking intense, man.
The trailer looked intense. And I'm like, I have no interest in the intensity of this movie.
Dude.
Like, it looks way too intense for me. And I was like, plus I'm like, I like Adam Sandler. I know this is going to go well for him. I don't want to see this happen.
Yeah, dude, you wouldn't make it, dude.
Yeah, I was just like, no thanks. No, thank you. No, thank you. But yeah, watch Pixels. That was fun. That's just a fun, lighthearted, make you laugh movie. Been playing a lot of games recently. Oh, let's one more thing. Ghostbusters trailer dropped. Anybody watch that?
What? I didn't even know it did.
There's like another Ghostbusters?
Yes.
Is it off the last one?
Yeah, yes. It's a sequel to the last movie.
Oh, fuck.
Afterlife.
No idea. How's it look?
About the same as the last movie, which I was not happy with either. And I think just watching this trailer, my initial thought was just like, I feel like they missed like the Ghostbusters movies weren't about ghosts or even ghost busting. They were comedies. and they used that to make jokes. You know, they had silly looking ghosts. This trailer, they're trying to evoke fear. I'm like, what are you doing? This is not the tone of Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is a comedy first and foremost. That's what those first two movies.
Okay, you were a little bit older than me when you saw that, but that invoked a lot of fear in me, the first Ghostbusters. I'm still scared of the fucking lady in the library. Jesus Christ.
Okay. But again, it was played for laughs. It was a jump scare. Yeah, that's all it was. Scare. Yeah, it wasn't anything. They're trying to build like some ominous evil is coming or whatever. And then everybody has whereas Ghostbusters used all that stuff as almost like punchlines, you know?
I'm just thinking of that first movie. I'm like, I was terrified throughout the whole thing.
That was where I fell in love with Bill Murray. That was my first time as a human where I was like, I have a favorite actor, and his name is Bill Murray.
Yeah, I didn't get the jokes until I was older.
Yeah, and I didn't see it till well after it was on home video. I don't know what year I saw it. 85 at the earliest, but probably 86 or something. So I was like, 9 or 10 probably. You were like 5, you know? So
yeah, I didn't laugh I looked at the trap ray until like much older.
The flowers are still standing.
Yeah.
There's just so many little ad lib lines and stuff, but but Bill Murray's in this one. He popped up in the trailer. But again, it's more the tone. It's the tone of the last one too. They definitely have attempts at humor, like sitcom level attempts at humor. And I love Paul Rudd. He's in it again. I love Carrie Coon. She's in it again. But man, it does not have that magic, but even dude, and I've talked about this before, but even my kids love 80s movies, and I'm sure listener is like, oh, it's because you shoved them down their throat. And I really didn't. I showed them, Back to the Future at one point. I wasn't like, you got to see this and you got to see that. I just showed them a movie here and there, but I took them to new stuff. I also like new stuff.
My kids are the same way, dude. It's something about those 80s movies, man.
Dude, there's a magic there, man. My kids, they will come out and watch an 80s. If I put on like that new Super Mario Brothers movie, they won't watch it. But if I put on the old one, they might hang out for a while. Not because it's good, but there's just there's a different feel to it. But even the good movie, Back to the Future, Logan's all-time favorite movie is Predator. Mason loves Back to the Future series. They love Gremlins. They love Trading Places. They love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. They love Home Alone. You know what I mean? Like all that kind of stuff. They really like. And like, they're just, I don't know, that magic just isn't there. And I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Like my kids talk about Back to the Future. They talk about Gremlins. They talk about, what was the other one? Oh, I did have them watch Ghostbusters. So they're probably
Ghostbusters.
They were scared.
Like my kids love Ghostbusters. Like they love all, and you've met my kids. They don't give a fuck if I like what they like. They will shit on stuff I love, but if they like something, they like it. Like that's just how it is. Like they'll tell me some of my stuff I love is really terrible and stupid, but there's 80s movies they just genuinely like. There was just a different feel to the movies back then.
Yeah. So what is that? Just the practical effects or something, or what?
I think practical effects is part of it. But there's just, and maybe it's just the use of film versus digital. I don't know, or maybe I think it was just storytelling in that era. There wasn't a lot of self-awareness. Like nowadays, every time something happens in a Marvel movie, they're like, oh, Doctor Strange, what a stupid name. You know what I mean? They have to have that fourth wall breaking commentary on how silly it is, whatever they're doing. Whereas like Ghostbusters, they don't do that. They have the cynical character with Peter Venkman, but he's never like winking at the camera like, but ghosts aren't real though, right, kids? You know what I mean? Like, this is just silliness. He's just a cynical guy in a crazy situation. That's all. He doesn't step outside of it though.
Our kids are like, misogyny and racism. Wow, this is funny.
But that wasn't the 80s though. Like, they you watch Trading Places, which we watch every year multiple times for Christmas, and there is racism in that movie, but it's vilified. It's not celebrated. Like that's the bad guys. That's like the whole catalyst for the movie is because these old white dudes are racist.
Dude, that's what, it's funny you say that because my wife just finished watching all the Love Boats, and dude, growing up, we never really, like, we had we had sitcoms, you know, like the Jeffersons, and I mean, there was black people all over the screen. Maybe not like there should have been, but like I was watching Love Boat, and I mean, it's like they had you know, black people guest starring all the time, and like we never, you know, it was never an issue, or you know, it never felt forced or anything.
Rob's like all the black people carrying the bags to the white people's rooms.
No,
like, I don't understand. No, what's the problem?
There were some main characters, but I mean, there was
chauffeurs.
There wasn't that
a lot of cab drivers. No,
but they didn't play stereotypical, you know, on the Love Boat. You know, they were like just normal people that were black. You know,
right?
I don't know. It's weird.
Well,
I was like, I never remembered it because I never thought it was a thing. You know, of course, I'm not black, so I can't speak too much about it. But, you know, growing up, it wasn't an issue to me. You know how we say how they're switching roles and you got to have this and that. But I don't know. Well, it was interesting.
It's like one of the biggest shows, which is kind of funny in hindsight now, but one of the biggest shows of the 80s was The Cosby Show. Now, granted, I love that man turned out to be a serial rapist. But the point is, there was, like, I used to talk about the 90s like that too, was, you know, a lot of it was just a lack of awareness on my part, though, that I really did think like racism was behind us at that point. I was young and naive.
Yeah.
But like entertainment wise, it didn't that back then anyway, it didn't feel like anybody was being excluded necessarily.
Yeah, dude, I love Dr. Huxtable, dude. I would always watch it. Like, and then,
I love the Cosby Show. I love Bill Cosby. I liked his stand-up special. I read his book when I was a kid. His book about fatherhood. Dude, yeah, I
watched the shit out of that show.
And when I go to my grandparents' house and I'd watch Richard Pryor.
Yeah,
it was good to, and of course Eddie Murphy, obviously the breakout star of the 80s. But I think a lot of people just didn't grow up with that. They grew up in, I don't know, I guess the 90s, 2000s. And I guess as someone who didn't really watch TV during, maybe that's when representation took a nosedive. Or again, I don't have the answers, but yeah, nothing ever felt weird when you saw a movie with an all black cast or something, you know. Who didn't go see Eddie Murphy movies? Like how big of a piece of shit are you that you can't go see an Eddie Murphy movie?
Yeah.
Like, I remember seeing The Distinguished Gentleman in theaters.
Dude, I saw like all Eddie Murphy's movies in the theater. Even Golden Child.
Cop.
Yeah.
But Trading Places, like I said, Christmas classic.
Was that his first film, Trading Places? Eddie Murphy's?
Was it? I don't know. He did there was 48 Hours. I don't know what year he he left Saturday Night Live and started getting into movies.
I feel like 48 Hours was before Trading Places, but I could be wrong.
Might have been.
And then then you have Coming to America, Golden Child. I don't really know.
I don't either.
Trading Places is so fucking good.
Remember him as Gumby on SNL, Rob?
Oh yeah,
of course.
That's probably why I collect Gumbies, is from that. You know? Because I have no idea why. I mean, green's my favorite color, and I think from watching Eddie Murphy play Gumby, that's when I first discovered Gumby. I didn't even know it was a cartoon.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, I'm with you, dude. Like, I probably did think racism was, you know, a thing.
I really did.
A thing of the past.
And then the Rodney King thing happened, and I was just like, "What? There's still like 5 racist people around. What's happening?" I had no idea. I was clueless, dude. I can't believe it.
It was just some of the LAPD. It wasn't all of them.
Right. No, of course not. Not all. Jesus Christ. But also we had a lot less media. We had a lot less awareness. And a lot of that stuff wasn't covered. But anyway,
48 Hours was his first film.
48, and I haven't seen that one yet. I need to watch that.
It's good. Nick Nolte.
All right, Ghostbusters trailer. All right, anybody watch first episode of Invincible, season 2?
Nope, haven't done it yet.
All right,
how was it?
Suck.
Did you?
How was it?
How far did you read in the comics? Because I got pretty far.
Oh, I don't remember. Nowhere near all of them or anything. Probably like the first 30 or 40 issues.
Okay.
They're doing like a multiverse thing, which I don't remember in what I read.
Multiverse is hot. It's hot right now.
It's so ridiculous, but it's invincible, so it's it's done a little differently, and you get people actually die and stuff. And I just today I started watching Gen V. I watched one episode. I'm hooked. I'm going to finish that series.
Really?
I don't know if you guys watch that, but yeah, give that a watch.
I heard it.
Gen
I heard
V a
about
watch. I enjoyed the first episode, and I'm very curious where it's going.
There's a bunch of DC animation on HBO that I want to watch.
Maybe you could watch the ones I gave you to watch 30 years ago.
I was scrolling.
Start there.
I was scrolling through and I was like, damn, Injustice.
There's a new one out, War World or something like that.
Yeah, I watched it. I saw that.
It was good. It's always good. With Molly and I watched the House of Fall of Usher or whatever.
Yeah.
And we watched Bodies.
Okay. Dude, what is the Usher one? What is that about? I have no idea. I hear people talk about it.
It's loosely based on Edgar Allan Poe. Like Molly knew a lot of shit that I didn't. But who's the lead character? Greenwood, Lee Greenwood, or somebody like that. The cast is really good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
So it's like one
Keith
season.
Watched the first episode, and he's a big reader, and he couldn't do it.
I don't like the guy. I can't remember his name now.
Like I didn't know a lot about Poe, so
I don't know much Poe either at all. But the guy.
I thought it was entertaining.
When I first heard of Edgar Allan Poe, it was like in an episode of the Treehouse of Horror from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that. So I was like, who is that?
And what's the lady's name from the first Sin City? Gigliano. It's
Carla Gugino. Gugino.
That's it.
She's Italian.
She's in it.
I like
she looks. I don't think that woman is aged. She looks exactly the same as she did in Sin City.
Is she the one that got her arm ripped off or whatever?
Yeah. She looks
her hand. Yeah, like her hand cut off.
Oh, is that what? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So should I watch this House of Usher?
I liked it.
All right, well,
I enjoyed it.
So I've watched a lot of. So the guy that, like, the creative guy behind it, the director, is a guy named Mike Flanagan, and I liked some of his stuff, but then a lot of his, like, when I tried, what did I watch? That Midnight Mass series. He did that, and that was terrible. Like, that shit, like, was so overwritten. It was insane. There were some good moments in it, but he's very self-indulgent when it comes to writing. Plus, he loves to make everything about, like, grief and addiction and stuff. I don't know if that's how House of Fall of Usher is, but Fall of the House of Usher, whatever. But
he talking about
like
power.
he did Dr. Sleep, which was, I actually like Dr. Sleep.
I still haven't seen that. I've got to watch
and then
it.
I went to watch it again, and for whatever, the second time I watched it, I was like, I don't really like this. I don't know what happened. I don't know why I flip-flopped on that. I couldn't even finish it the second time. First time I watched it, though, I was like, I like this. This is a good take. It's a sequel to The Shining. Ewan McGregor was good. And then for whatever reason, I was just like, I don't think I like this now. Yeah, but Mike Flanagan, he's done a lot of stuff for Netflix. House on Haunted Hill, which I did like that. So I started at Fall of House of Usher, and it actually seemed pretty interesting. I just, I don't know why I didn't keep watching it. There was like nothing put me off of it or anything, but it didn't suck me in though either. So,
it's got McCormick from Dances with Wolves.
Mary McCormick. I do know her.
It's got her in it. Dude,
wait,
it's got the cast
Mary
is
McCormick
really
or Mary
good.
McDonnell?
Mary McDonnell. McCormick.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
She was in Battlestar Galactica, too,
Yeah, that's Mary McDonnell.
Yeah.
I know her from Donnie Darko, but
yeah, that's
never
her.
Saw.
The mom from Donnie Darko.
I never saw the
she's fantastic. Lee Greenwood, I think that's his name. He's fantastic. The two lead, I liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah. I do want to get back to it, but like Gen V really, that grabbed me. That first episode grabbed me, and I'm like, when I get done with this podcast, I want to watch more of that.
Well, we know you got to be grabbed because you won't watch anything past 10 minutes.
No,
if it's
I don't think that's a bad requirement. I feel like that's
hey,
very
man,
important.
You do you. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's why it's like when I'm writing.
I feel like you got to at least watch it to the end of the first episode at least. I mean,
but the Usher thing, like, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't bad. It wasn't holding my attention. It just, I don't know what it was about it, but
it's your
I think it's just Mike
bitch.
Flanagan. Well, no, I give attention to plenty of things, but the Mike Flanagan, there's just something about the way he
For at
writes.
least 10 seconds.
He's just he overwrites stuff, and I don't like it. Like that's all I can say about him. Like he overwrites dialogue that everybody's almost every time somebody speaks, they're giving a goddamn monologue. It's like Jesus fucking Christ, people don't talk like this. So that's just something. Steve, you read my dialogue. I like very naturalistic dialogue. I don't like when people start like, let me pontificate a moment about this pumpkin pie.
Be like that girl. As soon as you start doing that, that girl left.
So Bodies is based on a comic. Did you know that?
I did know that. I've heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it good?
I liked it.
Did you read the comic?
No. And I won't unless you make me.
Yeah, I've been reading the shit out of comics, man. I read a whole bunch. I read.
What you been reading?
I read
Moon Knight.
It's been 3 weeks. Of course, I read Moon Knight. They're killing off Moon Knight and they're bringing in a Black Moon Knight or something. Like, I haven't read it yet. So, but I've read Gambit. Of course, I'm up to date on my Firefly. They have a new series called The Fall Guys, and the whole crew gets framed for killing like the leader of the Alliance. So it's pretty good so far.
Who writes is what's his face still associated with the comics?
Joss Whedon?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who's got the rights to that? Does he own the rights? Or?
I'm sure he's related somehow. They got Sam Humphries as the guy that's on it now.
Okay. Just curious.
But I read a little bit of Blade. That was kind of cool. There's like issue 1. It's a new series out. So I read Guardians of the Galaxy. Groot is apparently it's called Groot Fall, and Groot is just like following the rest of the Guardians, and like he lands on a planet and just starts killing everyone. I don't know what's going on. It was weird as hell. Rocket's not in it. So I don't know if I'm going to continue that, but like he gets on a planet and then roots himself in and just starts killing people, and it's insane. And the Guardians are like hopping from planet to planet trying to get away from Groot. I don't know what happened. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. I read that. That was interesting. That was pretty self-explanatory. He just killed everyone. And then in the end, they kind of break the fourth wall like he normally does, and he kills the writers of that series. It was fun just to see how people died. And
it's always great.
Oh, I'm reading. I saw something on the 901 Comics page. They're reading Philadelphia. Have you heard about that?
I've heard of it.
Okay. Well, I started reading that. I'm halfway through the first volume right now, and that one is very well written. It's a vampire story. I don't know if you like vampires or not, but
he loves vampires.
Dude, it is really well written.
Steve, you should know that about him.
Dude, right? I mean, dude, right? He just doesn't think vampires are that cool, but if it's well written, I can still. Did you not like Interview with the Vampire? Did you not like that?
I like that. I remember. I mean, I saw it when I was a kid, but yeah,
you don't like the mystery, the intrigue behind.
I like What We Do in the Shadows. That's what I like.
Well, that's good. That's good too.
That's what I like when it comes to
That's the only vampire show I think you'd ever watch.
Well, this one's really, really well written.
And 30 Days a Night, which was a comic book that I read and then eventually became, and the movie was entertaining too. But 30 Days a Night, because the concept intrigued me, because vampires basically go to Alaska where it's night for 30 days.
Dude,
so I was like, oh, that's brilliant.
That's
what vampires should be doing.
I love that movie, dude. Yeah. I saw that movie. I was like, holy shit, this is awesome.
That was, Steve Niles and Ben Templesmith did that comic. I read that when it came out. And then when they adapted it into a movie, I was like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah, I haven't read the comic, but that movie, I fucking love that movie so much.
Josh Hartnett. Did I get that right?
Yeah, Hartnett. Yeah, good job.
Steve Niles. I don't remember.
There's some really cool splash pages in this Philadelphia, and the story is I don't know. They kind of national treasured it, like that. The lead vampire, the original vampire, is like John Adams, the second president of the United States. So it's
okay.
It's it's kind of cool, but
That's fun.
at the same time, a little ridiculous. But vampires are ridiculous, so I mean, I'm going with it.
Yeah.
But
They're old.
it is very well written, and like I said, there's some really cool splash pages that you're like, oh fuck. So
Oh,
No, but I like Blade. I think vampires in general are stupid. Yeah, there with everything. There's always exceptions.
mhm.
Did you watch Abraham Lincoln Vampire Killer?
I read the book
No.
and watched the movie.
So did I. It actually wasn't that bad.
I wasn't too fond of the movie.
I was entertained. The book was really good, though. I actually read that book.
Not a big fan of
That might have been the last book I read.
crossovers.
It wasn't the worst. I've seen worse, like Secret Invasion.
Did they do a movie that Pride and Prejudice and Zombies too?
Yeah,
I
thought they did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched that.
I remember when those books were coming out.
I didn't read those books though. I just watched the movies.
Yeah, same.
But I've been playing games, which like my love for video games is it comes and goes. Where like sometimes I can't stop playing them. Other times I'm not into them, and that's fine. But Spider-Man 2 came out. I played a little bit of that. It's not good. Don't believe the reviews. It's one of the most boring games I've ever played in my life. Unless you want to play a Peter Parker simulator, which I do not. I'm here to play Spider-Man. I do not want to save. I do not want to do a workplace tour. I do not want to do a house tour. I do not want to help some college kids find the mascot costume that was stolen. Like, so that I was very disappointed. Very, very disappointed in what, but I'll get back to it. It's not like terrible gameplay, but a lot of cutscenes with a lot of dead-eyed fucking animatronic looking people. However, the new RoboCop game came out. Fucking blew through that game. Got 100% of the achievements. Fucking loved it. It's not a perfect game. It is a lower budget game. It's like a AA title. But the developers clearly had a passion for the character. They got Peter Weller to do the voice, which was fantastic.
That's cool.
But it was a fun game. They got the gunplay right. It felt really good to shoot people. Dude, I was so happy because I was playing Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 came out a couple weeks before RoboCop. And I was stoked about Spider-Man 2. I had it pre-ordered. I started playing it. And I'm like, I just want to be Venom. When do I get to be Venom? I never got to be Venom. I stopped playing. And then I was like, I made a post on Facebook. I was like, I just want the RoboCop game to come out so I can shoot criminals in the balls. First thing I did in that game, I got my gun. The first shot I fired was into the fucking crotch of a criminal. He grabbed his balls, went, oh, blood squirted everywhere. And then immediately I got an achievement for shooting someone in the balls. I'm like, this, video games are back, baby. Yeah. Like, this is what I want to do. I don't want to fucking find fucking people's broken taco shells or whatever the fuck they have you doing in Spider-Man. I want to fucking shoot people in the balls. Fucking hell. So yeah, RoboCop was a shit ton of fun. And then for whatever reason, I went into survival horror, which I get in, Resident Evil was like the first survival horror, but start playing Callisto Protocol again. Fucking love that game. That's another game that got like shitty reviews, but it's fantastic. If you like Resident Evil and Dead Space, you will probably like Callisto Protocol. The combat, it's brutal in that it is tough to learn the combat system at first, but once you actually get the hang of it and stop fucking sucking so bad, it's a really good game. So I'm guessing the reviewers were just really bad at the game because it's incredibly polished. That's a AAA title, man. That game looks gorgeous. You basically, it's similar to Dead Space or like Event Horizon or Alien or whatever. Basically, you're like a space trucker dropping stuff off at a prison, and you play as Josh Duhamel. And Josh Duhamel is a space trucker in this particular game. And Karen Fukuhara's in it as well.
I don't know who that is.
She's the girl from The Boys.
Oh, which one?
Her character's called the girl.
One of the main characters.
The one girl. They find what's her name?
And chained up.
The Asian.
Oh,
like, yeah. I don't know what else.
The only girl.
I mean, dude, I was thinking of the white girl with her last name Fukuhara or whatever you said. I don't know what.
Yeah. Okay.
Once again, this is just a little insight into how my brain works. Like he says her name, it sounds Asian, and I think white girl. So
Kamiko. Her name is Kamiko, but they called her like the girl in the comic.
Okay.
So I was thinking of the comic.
You could have said Kamiko. That would have helped me.
I don't remember her name. I had to look it up. I don't fucking remember. I know her as the girl.
Did that first Spider-Man game, did you have to play as a lot of different people?
Not a lot. You did play as MJ, which was fucking horrible. Because, I don't know if you know this, but MJ doesn't have any spider powers at all. It turns out she's just a normal person. Doesn't even have a gun. So her play segments were fucking awful.
They did that a lot in Resident Evil. Like, you'd be like,
That's survival game. That's a different genre. When I'm playing a survival game, I don't mind that because you're trying to survive. Thing. When I'm playing a game titled Superman or Batman or Spider-Man, I don't want to play as fucking Jimmy Olsen or MJ or Alfred. I want to be Batman or Spider-Man or fucking Superman. It's not hard. They did a Hulk game back in 2003 based on the Ang Lee movie, and it sucked. The only reason it sucked is there were Bruce Banner levels. I am Bruce Banner. This is not why I'm here. I want to be the Hulk now. So then they made a sequel. Guess what they did? Took out the Bruce Banner shit. Game of the fucking year now. All of a sudden, you're just the Hulk. Like, yeah, keep it simple. Be the Hulk in your Hulk game. Be Spider-Man in your Spider-Man game.
So the Transformers game, do you play as Witwicky?
There might be something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I would, dude, but that's the kind of shit that I'm just like, stop it. Like, stop with the inclusion. Make an MJ game. See how that sells. Don't fucking shove MJ levels down my throat because you want to be like, girls can do it too. No, Spider-Man. Fucking Spider-Man. Just want to be Spider-Man. Every other Spider-Man game, you have to be Spider-Man or Venom. In the Batman games, you sometimes play as Robin or Nightwing or Catwoman. But that's cool because they have combat abilities and fighting styles. And Mary Jane just literally sneaks around. That's it. She can't interact with anybody. She can't touch anything.
Are you over exaggerating? Is it? It's only like 5 minutes, right? Where you have to play these other characters. No.
And I can't speak to Spider-Man 2 personally, but I've read about Spider-Man 2 since I bounced off of it. Apparently, and I am not making this up, but this is what I've read. I did not experience firsthand, so if it's incorrect information, I apologize. But they've introduced a mute black girl into the game, and you do play as her at one point as well. And again, that's the opposite of a superhero. Like, holy shit. Like, I want superpowers. Like, now I'm deaf? Fuck! Like, I signed up for a superhero game. Like,
she just
especially abled game.
Instantly gets killed.
Like,
it's not my fault.
But then there's MJ levels in the second one, which again, I didn't even get to. I did a house tour as Peter Parker. I literally did a job tour. Harry takes you to your new employee and you go around and interact. I'm like, this is the dumbest. Why? This is such padding and filler. I just want to fucking swing around and be Spider-Man.
They're trying to introduce story into your video game.
No, there's plenty of story. Dude, I don't need story in my games. That's what I love about the Doom games. There's like this much story in that fucking game. I don't need it. They're like, hey, that guy is bad. Cool, give me a gun. That's it. That's all the motivation I need, dude. I'm just here to kill shit. Yeah. I don't need motivation to play a video game. When we played that Ninja Turtles game the other night, did you need to know the backstory of all those enemies? Or were you just like, I'm going to beat the shit out of this motherfucker? You put somebody on the screen that I can hit with nunchucks, I'm going to hit them with nunchucks. Yeah. That's all you need, man.
Yeah. That's fun, but I also like wandering around finding stuff with different people too.
I don't mind downtime, and that's survival horrors. There's a lot of wandering around finding stuff, but you're interacting. It's not just cutscenes. Spider-Man's a shit ton of cutscenes. And people are wowed by cutscenes now.
I mean, like even in survival horror, when I have fucking, all the guns, all the weapons, and then I got to be this fucking little girl with a toothpick, I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, I just did all this for, like, fuck off.
Like I said, I think that's tonally different. Because it's literally survival. So yeah, you're not supposed to, as the game goes on, you get built up and stuff. You earn more gear. But yeah, it's survival, so I get it. It's a different feeling when you're supposed to play as somebody who's not a superhero. I don't play Dead Space or Resident Evil because I want spider powers. I'm trying to literally. I guess fear-based.
Could have been worse. I could have been a mute girl with a toothpick.
Deaf mute girl. But that's the whole thing with survival. Is like that's it. You go in. You're not going in as the Hulk. You're just going in as Joe Schmo. And yeah, eventually they power you up so much, and then they're like, oh. Now you got to be this person. You're like, oh, fuck, this is terrifying, which is the whole point of survival horror. It's supposed to be scary. Once you're firing rocket launchers into people's mouths, it's not so scary anymore. Once you're like a walking arsenal, which I like that too. I'm not shitting on that because I enjoy that, but I'm just saying I understand that in that genre. But when you label a game Spider-Man, just let me be fucking Spider-Man. That's it. Or equivalent. I don't mind being Miles Morales. I love being Venom. Apparently you get to be Venom for like one level, but I wish I could just fast forward to that.
Yeah,
but
I get you. I understand. I mean, you do want to be Spider-Man in a Spider-Man game. That makes sense.
Just want to be Spider-Man in a Spider-Man game. That's all. I don't think that's a lot to ask.
No, I don't think you're being over.
It's padding is what it is. Cause you can tell, dude, that's the other thing. I replayed my all-time favorite video game. And of course it's from the 16-bit era Super Nintendo title called Chrono Trigger. It is a JRPG.
That is your all-time, hands down, favorite video game ever made.
Yes.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
I've and it what sucks about it is like when it came out, I bought it and I never finished. I liked it, but I was so excited about the next generation of consoles. I sold my Super Nintendo so I could get a PlayStation, and I never finished it back then. I didn't finish it till years later. When I went back and revisited it it came out again on the DS back in like 2008. I played it then. I was like, holy fuck, this is amazing. And I got a Super Nintendo copy of it now, and actually play it on my Super Nintendo. And it's a perfect game. It is literally, it's a JRPG. The story, they're very limited in how they could tell the story because of the size of the cartridges back then. You know how much RAM was. I think it was a 32 megabit cartridge, which was huge back then. But yeah, it's just an event. It's a time traveling adventure story. You level up your characters. It has New Game Plus. I've probably beaten it, I don't even know, 5, 6, 7 times.
For the listener out there, my favorite game is Atari Tennis.
Oh.
Is it really?
Please don't.
If anybody was still wondering if I was on this podcast.
I was just about to ask you. Dude, I was just about to ask you, Rob, what is your favorite video game?
I know. I read your mind.
It can't be tennis, though.
Atari Tennis. Yeah, my favorite game ever.
No, what is the memory attached to that? There has to be a story there.
No, I don't really care. I don't know that I have a favorite game.
Oh, I
always watch people play. I mean, I like playing Tecmo Bowl or some shit like that when I was young. But
dude, I remember you and Steve playing FIFA.
FIFA was
on
fun.
PS1, man. You guys play the shit out of that.
Which one did
Steve's
you like
favorite
better?
game is Wayne Gretzky's NHL Hockey.
No, it's not. No, that's not. That's the one I was most frustrated with, and wanted to throw the system through the fucking TV. That does win. It does win that award. But Rob, we played Tecmo Bowl a lot. Dude, you don't. I would think Tecmo Bowl would be your favorite. I mean,
is this a manufactured memory? I swear to God, you guys owned John Elway's quarterback. Did you guys own that? Why would you own that?
Because it was the only game we had at the time.
Dude, if somebody got us a video, we were poor, remember? We weren't super rich.
Yeah, dude. We didn't
we were just happy
somebody
to have
got
a system
that for us. You know?
John
and it was all
plays.
It was all pass plays. You couldn't even run the fucking ball. It was all like pass plays.
Fuck John Elway. That's what I said.
See, I would think I would think Tecmo Bowl.
That's why I blocked it out of my mind. I never owned John Elway.
Rob would set up the play so all his plays looked exactly alike.
That was Tecmo Bowl.
Like the run and the pass, you couldn't differentiate because Rob would go in there and set everything up.
Tactician.
Yeah, and then he'd always beat our ass with like the Cardinals or something.
Yeah,
you know, it was
it was the Cardinal, Jimmy the Juke Johnson.
Yeah, I'm like, this isn't fair. I have Bo Jackson. How is he beating me?
My run play and my pass play, every play, there were like 6 plays, right? But
it was limited.
Like 3 of them always looked the same. They were like the same formation. You didn't know if I was passing or running.
Yeah. How many times did you try and look over at the guy's controller and try and, watch them as they inputted? I would do that all the time.
I never cheated. I beat you.
I was always trying to cheat. I was trying to look at the plays that you were inputting every time.
Really?
But yeah,
what?
So I would think.
You know what game Rob was good at that I always was jealous that he was really good at because I never owned it till years later. But Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
I was good at that.
I sucked at that one.
Dude, you know
And
how many hours I spent trying to beat that motherfucker?
I never
That was
beat
back
it.
in the day where you had to start over, man.
yeah, well, no, you had
That-
a password. You remember you used to have the password memorized to get to Mike Tyson.
Yeah, but
There
that
was
was
a
after
password
you
you could put in.
defeated it, though. I had to defeat that motherfucker by like starting over and doing all like Mario.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was later.
Dude, I remember like people would gather around, like they would come
Yeah.
and watch Rob play Mike Tyson's
It was
Punch
all
Out.
memory, though. I mean, it
And
was
we're
all
all like,
rhythm. It was all rhythm and memory. Like you said,
rhythm and
memorization and rhythm.
Yeah, because there was one, the bull guy, I forget his name.
Bald
Bald
bull.
bull.
Yeah, you like, and then he would do, and if you didn't do it right, you had to know, like, yeah, I remember, because he had that one move, and you didn't know if it was 2 or 3, and if you messed up, then you just get the shit beat out of you, like, quick.
Right.
Yeah, you had
Lil
Bald
Mac.
Bull, then you had Soda Popinski, then you had Sandman, and then you got to Tyson.
Sandman was the one that knocked you out and, like, quick.
Yeah, and then
If
I just
if you
remember
messed up,
everybody
Sandman.
rooting for Rob. Like they're all like, "Come on, Rob, you can do it!" Like he finally did it one day. I never did. I couldn't even get close, dude.
Yeah, I was terrible at that when I'd go to your house.
Yeah, I did play that, didn't I?
Yeah, I remember watching you play it in the basement. Like we go down. The other one I watched you play is a Wild Gunman. You used to play Wild Gunman. You remember that with the zapper?
The one from Back to the Future 2.
That's right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, because we didn't have Duck Hunt. We had Wild Gunman because we didn't have the
ours didn't come with the
twofer. Like
Yeah.
everybody else had. Yeah, that was wild. So yeah, it was either that or Tecmo Ball. I figured would be Rob's favorite. Mine still is BioShock to this day. Like that's my favorite game I've ever played of all time.
I love BioShock. I think they did a great job telling story in that game without a bunch of intrusive cutscenes. They kept everything first person.
Yeah,
you were immersed the whole time. That was a great example of storytelling in video games. But
that was one I had to get used to both hands. You know.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't really played many games up until that game where you could choose right or left hand what to fire and everything.
For a long time, my favorite game was Super Metroid, which was also Super Nintendo. And then when I like rediscovered Chrono Trigger, it's great because also Chrono Trigger is relatively easy. Like you don't have to level grind or anything like you typically do in an RPG, and so you don't die a lot. It's not frustrating.
Them old man, the Nintendo and Super Nintendo, those games are hard as fuck, man. It's like,
especially the NES, man. The NES was brutal.
Yeah, there's no save feature, man. It's just like
right. Well, I think Zelda was the first game to have a battery save. The original Legend of Zelda had had the ability to save. And then most people just did like passwords back then.
Didn't they have like external cards you had to buy or something to save it? Or
I remember the PlayStation had that.
Yeah, the PlayStation, the disc-based games had to do that because you couldn't save to a disc. But then eventually the systems actually had memory on them, so that you didn't need an external memory source anymore.
What's up with the BioShock movie? Were they ever planning to do a BioShock movie or no?
Oh yeah, that Gore Verbinski was supposed to do it at one point. I don't know if that's ever going to happen now. That's a great video game experience. I don't even like. I wouldn't mind seeing a movie, but that's one of the things. If you want to experience BioShock, just play BioShock. And I tell people all the time, play on easy. If you don't like games or you're not good at games, just play on easy. Like there's no shame in it. Just experience it. Like have fun with it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what difficulty you're playing on. I switch to easy all the time. Like I don't. I mean, some games I go through on the hardest difficulty. But as I get older, I'm just like, depending if I'm dying a lot, I just bump down the difficulty. I'm like, I'm not here to die a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I always start on normal, but then sometimes I'm like, all right, we're switching.
I didn't know you could switch.
There's just something about like technology beyond its time. I love that setting. That's why I love Loki when they're at Chicago's World Fair and they have all like the Ferris wheel and everything. I love that shit. That's why BioShock hooked me real quick.
Yeah.
Huzzah.
Rob said tennis.
I thought he was talking about Pong at first.
I was like, that's got to be a joke. There's no way that's somebody's favorite.
I got it right here. Chrono Trigger.
Did you really take it out of the bag?
Yeah.
You still have the bag. Just
Yeah, of course.
Dude, for the listener, when I was growing up and I would go over to Sean's house and we'd play a Super Nintendo game, he would make me wash my hands before. And then he would get he would take it out of the box.
I kept all the boxes.
Then take it out of the bag. Then take
in a bag.
Then take the plastic.
The
then take the plastic slip cover, the dust cover that goes on the bottom of it.
That's right.
Then we would play, and then afterwards I would have to wash my hands again. I don't know why.
No, you didn't have to wash again. Only if you ate something. If you stopped to eat, you did have to wash again. That is true.
Yeah.
That whole rule holds true for my kids too. And as adults, I mean, Bubba complains about that. He's like, I know I got to go wash my hands, and I think a lot of that stems from. Well, I know it just stems from the fact that like it was such a big deal for me to get video games that I just wanted to, I treated them like, I don't know. I just treated them with kid gloves because I thought they were precious because 1991 was like the first year I got video games. Most kids have been playing games at least since 85, if not 82. I had been playing the games. I just never had a console or anything until the Sega Genesis in 91.
Yeah, but dude, even when I'm over there, like I'm fucking 40 years old. He still makes me wash my I don't even smoke anymore. I'm like, why am I washing my hands?
So here's now to reinforce that though. So I worked at GameStop for 3 years, and GameStop, as you know, is basically a pawn shop for video games and consoles. So a lot of people come in and trade in systems. Oh my God, these things are disgusting. Like these controllers, like and I'm not making this because I had one manager who was like me, crazy about that shit. And but a lot of GameStops, they get a system in, they like dust it off and then resell it to you. He had us like clean these fuckers. And so we had like toothpicks and shit. So any of the creases in the controller, we would take toothpicks to them and just dried sweat and gunk. It was so fucking disgusting, dude. Like cleaning. And I'm like, this is why we wash our hands before we play video games.
Sure.
I wash my hands before I play guitar. I don't like grease and oil on my shit. Tom Morello washes his hand before he plays guitar too. So I'm like, all right, I don't feel so bad now.
Okay. So one other guy on the planet. Then.
Tom fucking Morello, man.
Okay.
Like that's a big deal.
Okay. Well, he can rage against that for the rest of
his
life.
I like to keep things clean. I don't like the feel of a greasy controller. I hate, like, it disgusts me. Yes, I have some sensory issues. All right, I'm on the spectrum, as they say.
Anal as a motherfucker. That's what you are.
I meticulous, anal, whatever you want to call it. That is who I am. But you know what? It's better to be filthy. So,
meanwhile, my controllers have like fucking gummy bears stuck to them.
Dude, I did clean one of your. That reminds me, when I was down there, like a month or two ago, I cleaned one of your places. There was what was it? Oh, one of the buttons was sticking. So I was trying to I was like, God damn it. And it was irking the shit out of me. That's another reason we wash our hands. They get sticky and they don't respond. They don't pop back up. Don't like that. Don't like getting the
play
shitty
button
controller.
Doesn't work. Yeah, it does. You just got to press through the gummy bear. That's all right.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. What do you want? I'm a clean guy.
No, that's cool, man. Hey, just a little.
You're like, no, that's cool. It's fucking insane. It's cool.
It's insane. A bit anal retentive, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't mind being labeled any of those things because you know what? I don't have to feel your filthy controller. So just don't like it. I don't like grease. People just eating Cheetos and pizza and then just fucking playing.
All right, Cheetos. Okay, Cheetos is one thing. I mean, come on, man. I'll give you that. Wash your fucking hands after Cheetos.
Pizza too, man. Just anything greasy. Blech. Blech.
All right.
We should probably talk about the comic at some point.
Let's do it.
So I selected a comic. This was what, 2022. I picked this up.
I don't even remember it.
It's called Hard Boiled. Creators are Jeff Darrow and Frank Miller. Miller on writing, Jeff Darrow on pencils. 3-issue series came out in the 90s, like right around when I got into comics, and that's when the first thing I saw with Jeff Darrow art. and just blew my mind. The
Fucking
level of detail this
insane.
guy has. And yeah,
Puts
this
a
is like
lot on a page. Whew.
Dude, I was
much to look at.
I was trying to think of a way to explain it, but the best thing I found is what Brian Michael Bendis said about it. I'll read this quote. He said, "Hard Boiled came out when I was just about wrapping up art school, and it was devastating to us. Whatever shattered ego college had left us with was flattened by the revelation of Darrow." I was like, yeah, I mean, that's basically the best thing you could say about this art. It's so fucking crazy detailed. Like,
Yeah,
I had to reread this comic twice because I was just staring at his art the first way through.
There's so much weird little shit.
I had to reread that.
Did you reread it?
No, you're lucky I got one pass through.
So yeah, this is like a cyberpunk story about an android who thinks he's has one job, but he has another job. I'm trying to remember it now because it's been a few weeks since I read it, so that's why you're getting this vague description. Basically, it's a super violent cyberpunk future. Just kind of your not really. I don't want to say run of the mill.
He doesn't
but,
know. He doesn't know he's a robot.
Yeah, he's a robot who thinks he's a human.
Right, but he's a human who's like an insurance investigator or something, but he's actually kills other robots or whatever, right?
Yeah, and he's like a hitman for this Williford company or whatever. He's like a contracted killer, but he doesn't know it. You know, he thinks he's just an insurance salesman or whatever. And whenever he does start to glean some kind of knowledge that maybe he's not human, his wife immediately has sex with him, and the kids drug him at the same time. Like while he's getting laid, so his kids come in and drug him. So that was
so they like race. I guess they don't. I don't know if they drug him since he's a robot, but they wipe his memory or whatever. Reset his memory.
They do something. It looked like injections, like what they were
did.
doing.
You're right, though. They did have needles.
Yeah. He's
so however that works.
I guess he's he's like a cyborg. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. But the story is almost. I mean, it moves. But it's all about the art for me with this one, man. It's just something to look at in every panel on every page.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the story was good.
It was solid.
There's another robot that became self-aware and is trying to get him to realize the same thing. But of course, he tries to kill the other robot.
And he does.
Yeah. He kills her.
Yeah.
I believe.
Well, I think she kills herself in the end because she failed. Like he was like their hope, or he was like their last hope, and I think she killed herself or something. But I thought the story was pretty intense, you know?
Yeah, the artwork was pretty amazing.
Dude, the artwork is just sick, dude. Like it's I'll post a picture after this episode on the Facebook page and everything.
Do the cover. Do something with the cover art. There's a new cover that they did for this edition that I'm looking at it right now, and use that art.
like I'm not the only one. Like we are all distracted, right, by the art. Like we were just like, I can't.
Well, not distracted, but
I was like,
you can't be distracted by something in the book. That's what you're supposed to be looking at the art.
No, I'm talking about the story. Like I couldn't even read. I just stopped reading. I was just staring at the art. I was like, is this great? Is this machine fueled by babies? Like, I swear to God, at one point, like this machine was working because it was fueled by babies. I swear to God, I don't know what was going on.
Page 9 has a great splash page that you could also use for the art. Holy shit.
It's fucking insane. But the story was still pretty good.
No, it was good. It wasn't like groundbreaking or anything, but it was enjoyable. It was solid. Here's the scene. Don't use the one you're going to want to use where the big fat fuck is getting his nipples waxed by the mermaids. Right. And you can see it's like his penis is hooked up to a phone cord. Like so much going on. We just need to describe the art, and people will be like, "What the fuck?"
That's what I'm trying.
And then maybe they'll read it.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I could not focus on the story. Like I'm just like you said. There's a mermaid and there's penis and everything.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like if
It is.
Well,
I wouldn't even know
there's
if there
some
were
city
words on there.
pages too where he's like showing the whole city. It's like,
Dude. So, and a side note, the Wachowskis, when they started off doing comic books, and before they got into movies, and they got Geof Darrow to do their storyboards for The Matrix because they were into comics, they knew comics. They went to Geof fucking Darrow. They were like, "We're gonna get the cream of the crop for this shit."
They're right behind me. If you're on YouTube, you can see them above my head there. They're Matrix Comics Volume 1 and 2. And it's just...
And he does a story in there too, I believe, at least. I don't remember. Maybe just as covers. But man, just the level of detail, the attention to detail, and then just the skill level too is like he's also really good at drawing anatomy and poses and dynamic action shots. Like this is such a 90s comic. It almost, I don't know why, but it reminds me of that movie True Romance. It has nothing to do with that movie, but just like that kinetic feel of it. It has like that same energy that movie had.
Wait. You're going to
like this kind of wild.
I don't understand.
Violent.
You're going to have to give me something else. Why True Romance?
Just because that movie it exuded an energy to me that was just wild, unpredictable, violent, and funny. And it had an energy to the flow of the story and the writing and the characters. And it's just, I should say it reminds me, it has literally nothing to do with that movie. They have nothing in common, but it evokes that era to me with that kind of breakneck storytelling pace. And again, the kinetic action, the super violent stuff, the Tarantino-esque type stuff. Yeah, it's very nice. It is Tarantino-esque. It's very Robert Rodriguez. It's got hallmarks of all that kind of stuff. And Frank Miller wrote RoboCop 2. So I mean, he'd been, doing movies and stuff by then.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a 4-star. Oh wait, we had a new system. I don't remember what it is.
I thought we did 10 point.
We doing 10 point? It's a 10 out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10. And it's 3 issues, dude. Like, it fucking blows by.
Yeah, it was really quick. I was like, I read it and I was like, oh, this is over already? Okay. Yeah. I can't. It was all right. 7, 6.5, 7 for me. The artwork was 10.
Well, that's factored in. Like, the artwork is comics.
Yeah.
Comics don't exist without artwork.
I know, and that's why why I gave it a 7, 6.5, 7.
So,
Rob just doesn't care. He's like, let me get a 7.
8. The artwork.
8.
Yeah, the 10 was
Thank you. An 8 is appropriate.
The artwork was pretty cool. I mean, the story was all right.
I don't know, like
artwork was crazy. I just remember.
I've read so much crazy shit. Like if this would have been the first thing I read, maybe. But I've read so much other stuff.
Well, I'm basing my majority of my score is based on the art. Like I said, the story is it's solid. It's fine. It's not particularly memorable or unique.
Mm-hmm.
But the artwork fucking just care. Like if somebody else had done this comic, I might not have done the art on this comic. I might not rate it so high. But the artwork, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about comics, but I can appreciate people's fucking abilities. And
it's too much.
This guy's
like it's too much for me. Like it's great. It's a great job, but it's way too fucking much. It's way too fucking detailed. I'm sorry. I need something more simplistic.
Way too detailed.
So okay,
it's to the point where it's distracting from the story, and
that's your opinion.
See, but to me, that is if you're looking at the art, the comics are doing their job.
That's
my opinion.
That's what I said. They're doing their job. They're doing their job too well.
Not distracting you from anything.
They're distracting the fuck out of me. Like I like story. No. I like story and I like picture. It's too fucking distracting. I can't. I had to read.
But the art tells a picture. Or no, art tells a story.
Hey, man, can I just have my own opinion? You have yours?
No, absolutely not. You know how this show works.
Okay, I'm sorry. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Whiny bitch.
Hey, you know what?
You're a whiny bitch.
Hey, why you gotta be a whiny bitch?
It is Steve reads a comic, not looks at a comic.
No, man. I mean, it's good. It's just, I'm more of a simple person. You guys are more advanced than me.
It's not. It's a style. Definitely, it may not be for everybody. It
Dude,
might be for
if
more.
I had to read nothing but Geof Darrow comics the rest of my life, I couldn't do it, man. I need. It's too fucking distracting. It's beautiful.
It's too good.
And crazy.
It's basically what he's saying.
Yes,
it's too good.
It's too good, and that's why
Steve's like, you got to keep this.
That's
at
why
like
I downgraded
Disney,
it. It's too good.
You got to keep this at a Disney Plus Moon Knight level for Steve. Basically, that's his lane. That's his speed right there.
I see what you're doing.
No action, no energy.
Hey, man.
Just a whiny bitch complaining about being Moon Knight.
I see what you're trying to do. You're not going to get me. This is...
I'm not trying to do anything. I'm making an observation that is 100% spot on.
Yeah,
you want your Disney Plus Moon Knight. I want Geof Darrow, the fucking Matrix. I want that shit.
Okay,
give me that shit.
I like the.
What else has Geof Darrow done?
He has his own comic called Shaolin Cowboy, which is also crazy, over the top. I think he did. What was that? Rusty the Boy Robot or something. He's done a bunch of different series.
He did.
He did some Deadpool covers. Yeah. He's a very independent artist. And I've just like I said, this was my introduction to his artwork, and I had never seen artwork like that before because it was so incredibly detailed. I wouldn't call it distracting. I would call it engaging or immersive is what I would call it.
Immersive. Immersive.
Yeah. Was I talking to you about going down the Matrix hole, Steve? That was you I was talking to. That wasn't the podcast, was it?
You mean the rabbit hole?
Yeah, whatever. The Matrix hole. I started watching The Matrix and then Reloaded and then Revolutions. Was that you I was talking to? It wasn't on the podcast, right? Okay, good. So I was like delving into it, and I was telling Steve, because I did hear it, they talked about the storyboards, and that's why I didn't know this was the same guy. But
yeah.
So in the first in the title screen, so you get the beginning, whatever that the music does. So it's like A minor or something. I'm just making this shit up. I don't know.
I do remember you.
And then in the next one, in Reloaded, it's higher. The pitch is higher. It's a different key. It's like da da da, And then in the next one, it's even higher. And then everything scrolls down, right? In the latest one, what was the latest one? Resurrections. It goes up. The scrolls go. The Matrix is going up on the title screen.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
It was a lot of cool shit, man. A lot of detail. I was like, holy fuck, man, this is an amazing movie.
Yeah, the Wachowskis, I miss Matrix era Wachowskis. They were crushed. I still would like to see them come back and direct anything. Maybe Moon Knight. I don't know.
I'd totally be on board for that.
Yeah, here's what's cool about the Wachowskis. They'll let you see the fight scenes. Like, they actually like martial arts and shit. They like fight scenes. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like fight scenes too. And I saw some fight scenes.
Not in your Moon Knight.
I do not know why people did not like Reloaded. I fucking love that movie.
We talk about this every podcast.
Jesus, I know.
They just don't.
This is Star Wars.
It's something you got to just accept. Like, half the country likes Trump. You just have to accept it.
Yeah. It's so weird because nobody could give me a good reason. Nobody can give me a good reason. I have heard reasons, and it just, you have to dismiss them because they're like, what was going on with the architect? It's like, oh, well, if you had a functioning brain cell in your fucking head, you would understand what the fuck was happening. It's like, God damn. What do you want? Like, people just could not understand that mix of action and religion and philosophy.
Yeah. Hey, when we were talking about the art, what has been your favorite art throughout since we started this podcast?
Like artist or book, or what do you mean?
Your favorite artwork.
My favorite artwork. Oh man,
mine to this day is still that Street Fighter comic we read. Like, it was.
Oh, the Udon Collective.
It was It was so sharp, and the way they did the fight scenes, it felt like it was moving. Like, it looked like it was. Yeah. They made it blurry intentionally, like to denote motion. And I was like, this is fucking cool as hell.
See, I love that style too because it's very anime manga influenced, but done, by American artists, like Ed McGuinness and stuff, and
I don't even
Alvin Lee.
remember reading that comic
because the comic wasn't that great.
But the artwork was fantastic. That what always got me about that when Udon or Udon, however you say it, when they got the Street Fighter license, it always blew my mind that those artists I didn't see those artists a lot anywhere else. I'm like, how are they only doing Street Fighter? These guys are fucking amazing. So yeah, that was some amazing art.
That was one like we read a new comic all the time, and I'm always looking for something to surpass that, and it just hasn't yet.
I actually have an opinion on this.
Okay.
Well, I remember reading the Punisher comic. It was a long time ago. It was like maybe the second Punisher we read. It was that realistic looking shit.
Yeah.
Man, that artwork in that was amazing. it was the one where he's kind of bulky.
Yeah, he's older.
Was that the one where he goes? Was that the one where he goes into the zoo and one of the guys gets mauled by the bear? That one?
That's Steve Dillon art.
No, this is the one where he goes to this house and he's like, some guy was in the woods or something and he like fucking flayed him or something.
So yeah, it was either well, actually I'm not sure, but some of the artists that you might be talking about are like Goran Parlov and Leandro Fernandez, I think is his name.
Dude, I don't know.
Those two guys did a lot of that Punisher stuff that you're talking about. The
I just
realistic
remember
stuff.
that I can still remember the artwork from there. It's amazing.
Yeah. See, I have a ton, man. I love Eric Powell's art on the Goon. I love Sam Keith's art on the Max. I love Frank Miller's art in Sin City. I like real stylized stuff.
Yeah, like this Philadelphia I'm reading. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like detailed, but not detailed, like sometimes it's very crystal clear. And then in another panel, it'll be very vague, but it's cool. Like it's like you said, it's type
not
of
distracting.
Style. No, it's nothing like
the comic book isn't distracting you from your comic book.
No, not at all.
Good.
Dude, fucking listener, just look at Geof Darrow, read his comic. Tell me what you think. Like
whiny bitch.
For me, it's just like Jesus. This is way too much. Like I don't need that much. It's beautiful. I mean, it's amazing. He's very talented. It's too much for me. That's all I'm saying.
But that's the meat of the comic is the art
for you. Okay.
But no, I'm saying in general, again, if you take the words away from comics, you still have a comic book. If you take the art away from comics, you just have a book. So the art is very essential. So I don't see how it can be distracting from itself.
Yeah, that's why I bumped it up, man. I said it was a 7. Good job.
I think there might be a better word for that, but you can't be you can't be watching a movie and get distracted by the movie from the movie. Do you know what I mean? Like that doesn't make sense to me.
And I didn't think I could get distracted from a comic looking at pictures either, but I did. Okay.
Okay.
That's just what happened.
You're reading you can't get distracted by the thing. Get distracted from the thing by the thing.
I couldn't even read the words. I was like, why? Why are there even words? What is the point?
That's good. I think that's a good thing. I think that's the art is telling you a story.
And guess what? You can't separate the words from the pictures. Yeah, there's still pictures, but I still wouldn't have known what the fuck was going on from just the pictures.
I'm saying they have.
I still
needed.
Books.
I still needed
picture
the story.
Books are right out.
Dude, picture books are one thing, but you can't
give him a pop-up book. Good Lord, he will get distracted.
You can't take away the story. In Hardboiled, you can't take away the story and just look at these pictures and know what's going on. You can't.
I'm not saying that, but there are comics that do exist without any words.
I get it.
And they're comics. Yeah. But again, if you write a comic book without any pictures, you're not writing a comic book now. You're just writing a book.
I understand that. I understand that. I didn't give it a 0. Jesus Christ, guys.
I'm not about your score. I don't give a shit. You can give it a 4. My issue is with your wording saying that you got distracted from the thing you were reading by the thing you were reading. I don't understand that.
No, I got distracted by the thing I was looking at while I was reading.
Which was the thing you were reading.
No, you can't. Same thing. You don't read looking. You don't read pictures. You look at pictures. I got distracted by the reading by looking at the pictures. It's not that hard. to understand.
It's
I
dude,
know
it's
what
incredibly
you're
hard
saying.
to
I'm just
understand.
giving
We
you a
all
hard
know
time.
what I'm saying. I don't know why you
I
guys are
also
giving
agree
me
with
shit.
Sean in saying that is the median, but
I get it. It's a comic book. It's picture based. I understand that. It's
I can
different
see
than,
how you got distracted.
it's not a book
Because it was
a comic
fucking
book.
amazing artwork.
I know. It was too amazing. That's what I'm
I
trying to
can
tell
see
you.
if you were reading a Firefly comic and you kept looking over at your hard-boiled comic, that would make sense to me because you're like, this artwork's insane. That would make more sense to me. But I don't understand.
It's too insane. I'm
cognitive
sorry.
dissonance
Like if Firefly started getting Geof Darrow on there, I'd be like, all right, Firefly, you need to tone it down.
Well, that is an endorsement to Geof Darrow. That's all I can say.
Right.
And his
right.
And his fucking
the guy's amazing. I'm not shitting on the
I
guy.
have no issue with your opinion about like as far as the your score. I don't have an issue with that. Like I don't know. Your explanation is weird to me. I don't like it.
Okay, well, I don't know how to say it. I mean, this is just how I'm feeling, and I'm trying to, make you guys understand.
Would you say like the art overshadowed the story? Is that a better way to put it? Like
that's kind of what he's saying. I do believe.
Like, I'm trying to think. Like, if you watch a movie,
it's not that hard.
Listener, it's so visually distracting.
It's not hard.
You can't pay it.
It's not hard. Listener, go look
movie,
at Geof Darrow. Look at his art.
Can I just finish? I'm having an actual thought.
Okay.
If you watch a movie and it's so visually distracting that you can't, that you have to rewind it because you missed the dialogue.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's so you can focus on the story because
that movie was so goddamn beautiful that I couldn't focus on the story. Yes.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Can you watch a subtitled movie?
I haven't found a movie thus far that is like what I'm trying to explain in this comic book.
You told me when you saw Maze Runner 2, you said that.
yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah,
it was Maze Runner 2.
It was
cinematography was so amazing in Maze Runner 2.
Yeah,
you don't even know.
I'm sorry, I forgot. It definitely wasn't Maze Runner 1. It was 2.
No, Maze Runner 2.
Yeah. That is right.
You said it was the Empire Strikes Back of Maze Runner.
That's what I called it. That is what I said. You're right.
I just picture Maze Runner just about a guy who's distributing illegal corn. That's how he just is it a guy?
Not Maize, Maze.
Oh, okay.
Like a labyrinth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Dude, it's like fucking Hunger Games.
I'm gonna write Maze Runner. Though.
It's the
I'm
same
write
thing.
The corn guy.
It's like Hunger Games.
It was like Hunger Games. Except the payoff in the third movie. All I remember from it is I was like, "What? This is how you end it?"
I gotta be honest, I don't even remember the end.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just remember being like underwhelmed.
It's not looking good for the Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
I know I watched it.
I love to be proven wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
I
got him wrong.
Not only did I watch them, but I got them in my DVD collection.
God damn it, Steve.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? All right, so we all agree that Hard Boil was good. All right. What do you got for us next week?
Ooh, it's movie time.
Rob's favorite.
What did you guys have any movies in mind? I have one picked out, but
let's go 80s, man. You're talking all this 80s shit.
I have an 80s. Well, it's 1990.
If it's a fucking horror, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you.
It's a 1990 movie. But it's an 80s franchise.
Well, it was made in the 80s, technically.
It was definitely made in the 80s. Yes. Came out in 90 though.
Well, let's see what you got here.
Any last requests before I slap this on you?
I just wanted to say that we're the family and we just blew through 3 movies this last weekend, Marvel movies, because the kids are really getting into it now. So what'd you watch? What'd you watch? We normally just watch one movie every weekend, but now we watch Guardians, Age of Ultron.
Oh wow!
And Civil War.
Oh
nice. God! I forgot. Yesterday we watched Doctor Strange. So we are just blowing through these.
The
Marvel
kids
movies.
Actually watch Doctor Strange.
Dude, the kids freaking love Civil War so much, dude.
Yeah, everybody did.
And Age of Ultron. Oh my God, I think that might start creeping into my favorite movie of all time.
I love Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
like I've never understood the backlash on that one.
I don't understand. This is more
You know, my one pet peeve from Age of Ultron,
like Matrix Reloaded, I can understand that more than this Age of Ultron. Like Age of Ultron was so goddamn fucking smart and clever.
I don't know what it was missing or what it did wrong. I don't get it.
I thought it was good. Great.
Oh my gosh, I don't get it at all. It was so good.
They actually killed a character.
That movie too sets up a lot of stuff, man. I mean, there's a lot in there that references back.
And I know we talked about like Captain America moving the hammer during that one scene, like it jiggled a little. But when fucking Vision picks the fucking thing up and just starts walking to it, he's like, if you want to do this, let's go. And he just hands it to him, you know?
Lippity-doo.
And then later on, like he's talking about Ultron and Tony's like, man, he really hates you. And then Vision walks by him. He's like, yeah, that's true. He does hate you the most. You know, like it's just a bunch of little stuff like that. And the action is off the fucking charts, man. There's so many great action scenes in that. Yes. And like one of the scenes that just gets me riled up every time I see it, like, Cap's kind of getting his ass kicked by Ultron, but you know, Cap, no matter what, he just keeps coming, you know? And there's this, like, he's like on a car down below and he's trying to get back to the top of this truck trailer. And dude, Cap, he just says, come on, you know, and he just goes at him. And it's so, I get goosebumps, positive goosebumps every time every time. Like when Cap says, come on, and he just goes at him and he just starts like fist punching him and shit and using his shield. And Ultron is just such a great villain, dude. He's so menacing and so smart, you know, because obviously,
dude,
he's the
fan cut of that movie where they cut out all the fight scenes is so good. You got to see it, dude. There's zero fighting in it. It's just, you just see the aftermath. It's just like Moon Knight. It's fucking great. There's no fight scenes whatsoever.
Did you say Moon Knight was great? Is that what you're saying?
It's amazing. Because after that scene that you don't get to see that scene. You just get to see the aftermath. It's great. It's so much better than seeing the actual fight.
Fuck you.
Oh,
there was fighting in Moon Knight, but we're not gonna go back there. Fuck off. But yeah, dude, when he says "come on," and he's like, "Come on, get some, bitch," it's so fucking great, man.
He's a very inspirational character, and that Chris Evans played him so well too, because like
Jesus,
he's like rarely cocky, you know, and then when he is cocky, it's when he needs to be, you know, when he needs to be like, to put aside his humanity and just be like, I got to get this done. You know,
the thing is, most of the time he's overmatched, like Steve said. I mean, so many times.
And there's a line in Age of Ultron too. I think he's talking to like Hawkeye on the radio or something. He's like, you hold him there. He's like, I thought I was holding him, or like, you know, I thought I was distracting him. Like,
and it starts off when they're like language. Remember?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And they just start making fun of Cap for that. It's like, did Cap just say language? and then you got Hawkeye giving the inspirational speech to Wanda. You know, it's like, if you go, like, he's like, none of this makes sense. I have a bow and arrow, you know, like I'm fighting with a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
That's why I'm so.
But he's like, if you go out there, you are an Avenger, you know. And then she opens the doors all slow motion, and she's got her fucking power.
That's what I love though too about the way they did her, because I knew her from the comic a little bit, and I knew how powerful she was and how she had like, she was so powerful she warped the entire universe in the comics at one point.
That was,
it was like the Onslaught storyline.
I don't know if you finished it.
So but that was just like a neighborhood or whatever. This was like the universe. Like she's like the fabric of time and space. And so I was like, man, because it always seemed like they were kind of, I mean, she didn't really have any screen time up to that point, but up until the second Doctor Strange movie, they kind of played down her powers.
Well, see, I didn't know I didn't know how powerful she was when I first saw Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
and
she didn't know either at that time.
They kind of allude to how powerful she is when she pushes Vision through 17 layers of the Earth. You know,
in Civil War.
Yeah, right. Yeah, when Tony wants to keep her at the compound, and then Hawkeye comes to get her out of there, and she just pile drives Vision all the way down to like the Earth's core, and you're like, holy shit, she is powerful.
I was happy that we did get to finally see her do something besides throw snowballs at people, but she still came out very powerful in Age of Ultron. You know, she was fucking people up. She fucking killed Ultron. Well, I guess technically, what's his name?
Vision did, yeah.
At one point, she killed an Ultron though.
Yeah.
And she killed a bunch of Ultrons, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, Age of Ultron. I love that movie. I never understood what people. Oh, it was okay. I was like, what the fuck do you people want from a movie? I don't even understand. Like, what are you after? This had everything. It's just, like,
man, you had the Hulk
delivered.
Hulk tearing apart the town. That was awesome.
And at the very
end, got Hulk Buster.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes! Holy shit! Got the Hulk
dude,
Buster
was Dom not going nuts for Hulk?
Oh, dude,
was he not going nuts when Spider-Man showed up?
Dude, he was like, Hulk Buster. I was like, oh, nice. This is awesome. And I'm like, I don't know how he know that. He probably was watching videos, so he already knows the term Hulk Buster. But even at the very end, like the last Ultron, you know, is there facing Vision, and Ultron, the last version of him, is like, you're so naive. And then he's like, well, I was born yesterday. I was born. Like, dude, it's such a fucking perfect movie. Like, it was
great.
It's starting.
It was fucking great.
I think it might be my favorite over the original Avengers.
But yeah, did Dom expect to see Spider-Man in Civil War? Did he know that was coming?
Yeah, because he watched that scene. He's seen everything on YouTube.
And the banner between
he's like, I know what happens, Dad. I'm like, so you watch this video too? Okay.
God damn it.
But he is super excited. He's been waiting to get to Homecoming. Like, he's been he's like, Dad, how many more movies until Homecoming or until Spider-Man? I was like, we're almost there, buddy. We're almost there. But yeah, Age of Ultron, I don't know why it gets so much shit. It's really fucking good.
People are stupid.
So what's the movie?
The movie I have picked is called RoboCop 2.
No, we already watched that.
Come on.
Dude, we watched that.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
We watched RoboCop.
I'm out.
No, we watched RoboCop 2. We talked about this.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we did. We've already done it.
Yes, because I was like, I can't believe I've never seen this. It's the one with the kid.
What?
It's the one with the white kid.
You had seen it because I watched it at your house the first time as a kid.
The pretty boy white kid who was like evil or something.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
God
Can
damn,
we just watch
dude.
it again?
No, you've got to fix something else.
I was so excited for you guys to see RoboCop 2 for the first time.
God damn, man, you got to start keeping track of this shit, man.
I'll have to go through. Man, we have too many episodes.
We can watch Breakfast at Tiffany's.
I'll make you watch RoboCop 3. What do you think of that?
I don't care. I'll watch anything.
I'm not gonna. I like you guys. You're right. We did it. When did we do this? July of last year.
I know I'm right. I'm the only one that listens to this podcast. Besides the other guy that says I'm a pussy.
Oh, so does I got to pull up my list now. I can't. And you know what's funny? I just added that to the list today, and I was like, we've never watched this. I was certain. Like, I didn't even question it. I was like, we haven't watched this. I wouldn't have done this. Well, my fallback.
Please say Serenity. Please say Serenity.
You can watch Serenity whenever you want. That's a good one. All right. This was my fallback.
Oh boy.
This is going back. This is before the 80s.
Sean's like RoboCop 2.
It's called RoboCop 2. But you're going to watch it with the German dub.
Hurry up.
It's going to make it for a different movie.
Rob fell asleep. Hurry up.
Rob?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm waiting for your shitty movie to pick.
I was just resting my eyes.
I was reading my phone. I was trying to see.
All right, the other one. All right. I know we haven't done this one. At least I think we haven't. I know for 100% sure, but also I could be wrong. Alien, the first one.
No, we have not done that yet.
All right. We're going to watch Alien.
Fucking, it's half scary. You just can't fucking...
I love that Rob is genuinely
dude, I watched Alien. Dude, I was little when I saw that shit.
I was too.
That
Not
shit
me.
scared the fuck out of me.
I should save this, but I'm going to tell it anyway. I'll probably tell it again next time too, because most people have tuned out by now. But so my first experience watching Alien, I didn't know I was watching Alien. and I didn't see the whole thing, but I was at my grandparents' house. They had cable. It was the 80s. And I was watching a movie where a man, this was what I thought at the time. A man, because I don't think I ever saw the actual alien and stuff. I don't remember what happened, but I just watched a man lose his mind and then spit milk everywhere. That is my memory of alien. And then years later, when I actually saw it, I'm like, oh my God, this is the guy that's filled with milk. I didn't know it was like an android. I was like, why is that guy full of milk? That was my kid brain taking in Alien. And yeah, that was my first experience with Alien. And then at a sleepover in the 90s, I actually got to watch it.
This is great for me because this is one I didn't watch till later, so I was never scared by it.
Yeah.
But I do know the android scene you're talking about. It's very iconic.
So there's a director's cut and there's a theatrical cut. From what I understand, there's very little difference, so I don't think it actually matters which one you watch. It's just like a little cuts here and there, little edits here and there. I believe I have both versions on my Vudu. The theatrical version is in 4K. The director's cut is not. So watch whichever one you want.
Fuck, dude, I was like 8. This fucking shit was scary, man.
You were 8 though. That makes sense. You're not 8 anymore.
I'm still 8.
It's like, you've survived Donald Trump. You don't need to be afraid of anything anymore. Yeah, we're gonna watch first Alien because unfortunately we watched RoboCop 2.
That man said you survived Donald Trump like he's not going to be our president from prison.
Right?
He's not.
He ain't going to prison.
Right, whatever.
But yeah, that's all I got this week then.
Great.
Alien, not RoboCop 2. We could do Masters of the Universe.
No, we've done that. We've done that too.
We have done that.
Start writing these down so you know. Like
they're all on the website. I can just go to the website. I just don't look at it because
Well, we're over 100 episodes now, so it gets harder to look at shit. So.
It does get harder, especially when you're like me and you only like 5 things. So it's like I keep going back to the same shit. Have you guys seen Star Wars?
Well, maybe if you'd watch movies instead of shitting on movies you haven't seen, you might have something else to talk
about. No, I like that part of my personality. I like shitting on things without actual like information. Although I do like sometimes to see things so I can shit on things very specifically too.
Like Moon Knight.
No, Moon Knight makes me mad because I wanted it to be good. Like I'm disappointed in Moon Knight because I know what Moon Knight is supposed to be, and then I saw what we got, and it's upsetting. I don't like it. Like
maybe I would have watched it if you wouldn't have. I liked it more if I didn't see the comic first.
Right.
No.
I don't think I would have, though. It's still the same problems.
I still would have been mad. Like, well, we don't get a fight scene. We just see bloody dead guys. Well, come on.
All right. You didn't get fight scenes from Mark Spector, but you got fight scenes from Moon Knight multiple times. So I'm trying to tell you guys. Whatever.
I don't remember a single one.
All right.
No, I do. I remember him fighting in a museum at one point.
No, he fought outside.
Oh, okay.
There was a big.
I thought he looked in the mirror in the bathroom. Oh no, that was.
That's what I thought. I thought they were inside.
That was the end of the first
episode.
That was the end of the first episode.
Yeah.
The second episode.
That's all we got.
No, I had him.
A fight. That was all the fight scenes.
No, yeah, but I don't think he fought. Did?
Yeah, he fought in the streets, as Mr. Knight and Moon Knight, and then the next
Mr.
one had
Knight.
him.
Oh, that.
Yeah, well, you guys don't like Mr.
I forgot about that.
There's nothing I can do about that. If you don't like Mr. Knight.
You could make shit up right now and say he fought like every 5 minutes, and I still wouldn't go back and rewatch.
I'm not trying to make shit up. I'm just trying to tell you it wasn't as bad as you thought it was.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying.
I'll take your word.
It's still not great. I'm just saying it wasn't.
All right, there we go.
You know what? All right.
I said that from the start.
Well, you know what? We're not going to watch Alien. We're going to watch Maze Runner.
I have them both.
Get to Steve's favorite Maze Runner 2, the Maze Runner-y.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
So, all right. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for coming back. Our schedule's been sporadic. It'll probably continue that way through the holidays. So, but we won't go away, most likely.
Yes.
We'll be back.
Ciao.
So thanks for listening as always.